When most of us hear the word literature, we think back to school. Long novels, text analysis, and trying to figure out what the author meant with that one metaphor. But what if I told you that if you allowed yourself to explore literature on your own terms, you'll find out that it is much more beyond what is taught in the setting of a classroom. It's a journey waiting for you to discover. It's a mirror where you can see yourself and the world around you clearer. I'm Sarah Bey, and today I'll be talking to you about the ripple effect of literature on the world. Allow me to show you what I mean. In 1774, sat down a young man named Johann Goethe to write about his heartbreak. He was just rejected by his lover and betrayed by his best friend. And the only way he could fathom making that pain breathe was through writing. The book he wrote is called The Sorrows of Young Werther. Initially, as I mentioned, he didn't write it for fame or legacy. He wrote it as a form of self-expression. And what he didn't expect was that it would ripple across Europe like wildfire. Men didn't just read Werther, they became him. They dressed like him, they wrote poetry in his style. Some of them even chose to tragically honor him through choosing the same fate he chose, which is suicide, sadly. One man's heartbreak became a movement, a mirror for people to finally be able to see themselves through a character. And that's what literature has always been about. It's not just fiction, it's connection. It has always held us through centuries, across cultures, beyond borders. We were always able to amplify the sound of humanity through literature. And I felt that magic myself. Ever since I was very young, I've always loved literature. Whether it was novels, short stories, comic books, I've always loved reading, and I always found myself in literary spaces. One genre of literature that I never allowed myself to explore, though, was poetry. Sadly, people around me, mostly friends and classmates, always thought of poetry as this boring text that we had to analyze for English class and this boring assignment. So naturally, I always strayed away from it. But one day, I was performing one of my favorite activities, which is browsing the shelves of a bookstore, when I suddenly passed by a flimsy paperback titled The Complete Poems of Emily Dickinson. For some reason, I choose to open the first page of that book, and I come face to face with one of my favorite poems ever, There Is Another Sky. It was a beautiful portrait of family, connection, and longing. Her words were so delicate, but they hit so sharply. I could never imagine that such power could be embedded in great beauty. And that's the magic of literature. It allows you to reach into the deepest parts of your soul, to finally experience emotions that you otherwise would have never known you had. It's a journey, it's art, it's imagination, it's transformation. And that transformation can happen to any of you. It might not be Dickinson for you, although I believe everyone should read her work at least once because she is truly amazing. It could be any other poet, playwright, novelist, even an essayist or a comic book artist. Just trust that one day you'll read a work of literature that affects you so deeply, you'll never forget it. And while literature may change individuals, it also changes history. Take Les Miserables, for example. Victor Hugo's 1862 novel wasn't just about a man who stole and was on the run. It was a portrayal of oppression, injustice, and poverty. It spoke what the people of its time were not able to speak. His words didn't just sit on a shelf, they awakened people. This book truly sparked a real revolution. For example, the Paris Commune of 1871, which changed the ruling of Paris at the time, something that was unheard of, and it also shaped the French socialist movement. And Victor Hugo's words echoed far beyond France in the 19th century. World leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela drew inspiration from Hugo's works. And that's what literature is all about. It starts with a page, but it continues across a lifetime. When all is said and done, literature remains one of the most significant forms of self-expression. A Shakespearean sonnet written in the 1600s can still deeply affect someone of today's world. A story written in solitude can inspire a generation. And while some literature may make headlines and spark revolutions, other works of literature change the world in ways that cannot be measured by noise. Literature doesn't always declare itself. Sometimes it quietly unfolds through a sentence that stays with you, a poem that says what you couldn't, a story that shows you who you are. And that's where the ripple begins. Thank you.